Welcome to the This Day program for this Saturday, August 22nd. I'm Paul Ortiz, and thanks for joining us for this, hopefully the next 28 minutes or so. We have a terrific show for you, but I'll be telling you about that in just a second. We do have no meetings today. You know, it is Saturday, of course, so usually we don't have meetings on a Saturday, so no meetings today. But we are going to have United Update today. That's going to be with Manuel Armendariz, and I had a chance to speak with him, so we're going to be bringing you that via Zoom right after this first break, and he's going to tell us about some terrific information regarding United Mutual, and especially for those candidates that are going to be, that they're looking for here in United Mutual. They are going to have an election here in the next couple of months, so we'll get that information from him. Also, we're going to have Lisa on again. Of course, this is Life Hacks, and she's going to be bringing that to you. This is interesting things that she brings to you that can help you around the house. And, sometimes she'll bring us some recipes as well. So that's going to be Lisa Hart a little bit later in our program. Well, let's take you to some of those resources that we usually take you to, and that's the ochealthinfo.com and also cdc.gov. That's staying safe with COVID-19. COVID19.ca.gov, and that's where you can get all the California numbers, and then also can get our city numbers as well, and that's the governor's reopening plans will be on that page as well. Our county hotline is 714-834-2000, and if you have information, you want more information regarding what's going on here in Laguna Woods, be sure and visit LagunaWoodsVillageAlerts.com, and you can also send us an email with any questions or comments you might have at info@LagunaWoodsVillage.com. Well, let's take a quick look outside. It's going to be a beautiful weekend this Saturday, Sunday, and Monday is going to be some beautiful temperatures. You can see that it's going to be just a nice, kind of cooler temperatures, nice outside. Still a little bit warm for today, a little bit 84, 71 for today. But as you can see, temperatures are coming down just a little bit, down to the low 80s. And even those overnight temperatures coming down just a little bit, just so we have some cooler temperatures as we rest there in the evenings. But it's going to be beautiful here in Laguna Woods Village. Beautiful weather. Well, let's take a look at our sunrise and sunset for today. The sunrise this morning was at 6:18 a.m. and our sunset this evening will be at 7:28 p.m. And there you see a wonderful picture brought to us by Debbie Byrne. And this is out by my old neck of woods. I'm actually from Tucson, Arizona, and this is the Monument Valley in wonderful Arizona. A terrific picture there, Debbie. Great job, and we appreciate you taking the time to send that to us. If you have an interesting picture or you want to share something with us, be sure and email us at LagunaWoodsVillageTV@gmail.com. Well, we'll be right back with Director Manuel Armendariz right after this.
We know that we're asking Americans to do a lot right now. So we're asking everyone to be selfless for others so that we can protect those who are most susceptible to this virus.
A question I often get asked is why should young people care about the spread of coronavirus? Well, we know that people with underlying medical conditions over the age of 60 are at highest risk, but they've got to get it from somebody.
Social distancing is really physical separation of people.
It's what we refer to when we ask people to stay at least 6 feet apart.
Not going to bars, not going to restaurants, not going to theaters where there are a lot of people. It all just means physical separation so that you have a space between you and others who might actually be infected or infect you.
We all have a role to play in preventing person-to-person spread of this disease, which can be deadly for vulnerable groups. For more information on how you can social distance, please go to coronavirus.gov.
I'm Dr. Beto, Doctor of Physical Therapy, and I want to share with you a Medicare program that allows safe in-home treatment. No more crowded clinics, no more waiting rooms. If you or your loved one are suffering from pain, poor balance, strength, or have had a recent fall, we can help. Call Care2You Health now to see if you qualify.
Get out and live your life with the Buzz Around XL travel scooter from Golden. The Buzz Around is fun to drive with a tight indoor turning radius so you can go just about anywhere. It's also so easy to charge and offers all-day range so you can go further. The Buzz Around even has more leg and foot room for all-day driving comfort. Be safe with the XL's ultra-bright LED headlight. Plus, the Buzz Around XL can be easily taken apart into several lightweight pieces. See for yourself just how easy and affordable mobility freedom can be.
Well, joining us on the program now is Manuel Armendariz, and he's with the United Mutual. Thanks for joining us today, Manny.
Well, thank you for having me.
You guys have had a pretty busy week and a pretty busy month the last few days.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been challenging, but I got to admit, it's been rewarding.
Yes. Well, speaking of that, tell us a little bit about what the responsibilities are of a director of United Mutual.
Yes, happy to. And if I get a little bit too serious here, loosen me up a little, because this is a topic that's very near and dear to my heart.
Yes, sir.
The primary responsibility of a director is, and this is true of all the housing mutuals, and that's to be involved in the management and supervision of the mutual's assets, which are primarily the property, of course, that comprises the village, money, because money's come in through assessments, and we have to try to make sure that it's well spent, and of course to protect any of the assets that are in here in the community. And this role that a director has, it has specific, every director has specific responsibilities under the Davis-Sterling Act, under case courts, and under the governing documents. And the management of the community is actually provided by VMS, that's Village Management Services. And it's an organization, a not a corporation, in which the members are United, Third, and GRF. And they, those three associations work hand in hand with the VMS in running the village. So that's what a director is involved with. They, let's say, provide the guidance over all these functions. Thank you.
And tell us a little bit about the structure of each board, because I know that's quite different. I was actually talking to our CEO, Jeff Parker, and he's used to dealing with maybe a 5 or 7 person city council. And here the structure is quite a bit different for the associations.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Paul. And that was a good remark and observation by Jeff Parker. Here we have a number of organizations, each with different responsibilities. United Mutual, which I'm a director for, is involved with the management of the coast. And that's, those residences are actually owned by the corporation. And when you buy into those, you buy a share in the corporation. So you get the right to use that asset that is actually owned by the corporation. And third, you buy a condo, and they even have some single family homes over there. And then you've got GRF that runs all of the amenities. They run all the clubhouses. There's 7 clubhouses, the golf course, the entry gates. They even own the streets into our communities. So you've got all those to deal with, and Jeff does have his handful. He also has VMS to deal with, who provide all the services to these. And one entity that I'll lift out is Mutual 50, which is at the towers, because when we went to management through VMS versus PCM, and it was formed, Mutual opted to have their own management by some outside company. So they're not involved with MS. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that United, Third, RF each have 11 directors. And the directors on the directors United and Third are actually voted on by the members. And United has 6,323 members, and Third has like 6,100. GRF, however, those directors are actually elected by the directors of First, United, Third, and Mutual 50, even though they're no longer managed by a EMS are still an owner in GRF because those three mutuals own GRF. So it does get a little involved, a little complicated, hard to remember all of these things.
Right.
And the only other thing I wanted to mention here, I'm looking at my notes, is that each mutual usually has 5 officers, and those officers are a president, a first vice president, second vice president, a treasurer, and a secretary. And in addition to that, after the officers are elected, then the president usually is the one that decides who are going to chair the committees and which directors are going to be on committees. And I'll get into more of that in the next item that I cover. So that's the structure of the directors and the mutuals, and it is involved.
Right. As you mentioned, there's quite a few layers of governance in this community, but the committee process is really where a lot of the work is done. Tell us about the function of the committee process.
Well, you hit it right on the head, Paul. You know, I think you could make a good. Anyway, in United, we have 8 committees. And you're right, that's where all the work is done, because the function of the committee is to meet and discuss various topics that come up that maybe might be an improvement in the way things are done, or maybe we've gotten a lot of questions about that item from members. For example, one hot topic always is the income and asset requirements in the community. You can't just buy a year like you can outside in the outside the village, we'll say. Here, besides qualifying for a loan or having the cash to buy a unit, you still have to meet certain minimum income requirements. So it is different in that respect. And so that's an item that comes up usually in governing documents. The other committees that we have architectural control, we have landscaping, we have maintenance and construction, another very important committee. We have members hearing, we have resident advisory, and I don't think I've communications, I almost forgot that one, and architectural control. The committees are comprised usually of the chairperson plus 2 to 4 other directors that serve on that committee. And most of the committees meet monthly. Occasionally, some of them that don't have that many topics to cover might meet bi-monthly, or sometimes they get canceled for some reason, like with this COVID-19. A lot of times something comes up that causes us to postpone the meeting into the next month. So that pretty much tells you about the functions and responsibilities of being an director.
Right. Well, speaking of that, unbelievably, it's the end of August coming up, and you're going to have elections for a couple of positions that might be open for your particular mutual. So what kind of process does someone of interest might have to go through to become a director on United Mutual?
Well, good, Paul. I'm very glad you brought that up, because this gives me a chance to plug this. The openings we have 4 openings that are going to become available this year. Usually the term of a director is, well, it is 3 years, but the number of directors positions that open up depend on when the term of that director expires. There's 11 directors, so the term expires every 3 years. So generally 1 year that only might be 3 openings, the other 2 years would be 4. This year there happens 4 openings, and the applications open up July 31st, and they have until September 1st, which I believe is a Monday, 5 o'clock, to get their application in. And the way to follow this process is if you are a candidate, you want to serve on the board, you can get the application forms from the corporate secretary, who is Cheryl Silva. And she can be reached at this telephone number. It's 949-268-2383. So if somebody you want to jot this down, get your pencil and paper, and I'll repeat that again. And that number is area code 949-268-2383. The other thing I want to add here, just so people are aware, is there are some minimum qualifications to apply for this position. And some of them are, you must be a full-time resident in the community, and you must be a member for a minimum of 1 year. You also have to be in good standing in the community, and that means that you can't be delinquent for more than 30 days in the payment of your monthly estimate. You cannot have been convicted of a crime that would prevent the United Mutual from being able to obtain fidelity bonding, because all the directors are required to be covered under fidelity bond, because their primary responsibility is to safeguard the assets of the community. Also, you cannot be an employee of VMS or any of the corporations. And you can't have a conflict of interest with any of those or corporations. Right. So those are the basic qualifications that are required.
Do you think there's any particular professional qualification or experience that you think is of value to this board or probably future boards?
You know, to be frank about it, there are certain people that are, you know, you desire to serve on the board, but the basic ingredient, I think, is to be able to be fair, use common sense, and I think having the quality of caring for the community.
Right.
I mean, if you care for the community, I think you're going to make the right decisions. And as far as qualifications, you know, I'm a retired CPA, so naturally I lean towards CPAs. I mean, young CPAs usually make good directors. And so do engineers, so do persons with construction experience. And so do people with real estate development and property management, any kind of a business ownership. They've been, you know, through the mill. They've got some knowledge that would be helpful. I mean, we'll even take attorneys. I'm just kidding. But, you know, as far as candidates, again, it's a, let's say this is ideal, but if we get people that care about the community, I think that's the most important person that we're looking for. Absolutely. So volunteer. If you want to help us, volunteer.
Yes. Now, I know you've had a busy week with the 2021 budget prep, so I just want to catch you before we let you go here. Do you have any closing comments that you want to share before we head out?
Only that I believe the coronavirus, COVID-19, although it's, you know, played havoc with our lives, I think a good way to look at it, it's been a learning curve, and it's made us realize how important a lot of things that we take for granted are.
Right.
It's to me is given the message that we depend on each other. And so that's come through clearly to me that we're all important to each other. And so that means we need to work together. And as a director, that is vitally important.
Right.
So have the attitude of caring and trying to work together. So Paul, thank you for all your good questions. It's been a pleasure to share it with you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this day. We have some very important dates to meet here in the next couple months. We have the business plan to put away, and then we also have election of officers for your mutual. So we appreciate the time you spent with us.
Thank you, Paul. It was a pleasure.
All right. We'll be right back with more This Day right after this.
Today, we are marking the beginning of a new era as City of Hope opens its first location right here in Newport Beach.
We have 500 scientists and doctors who have dedicated their lives to beating cancer. So they use that intellectual capital to try to make sure every patient gets the best care possible that's known to science.
Communities are starting to feel the financial impact of COVID-19, commonly called coronavirus. But we want you to know that there is help. We have disability insurance for workers who are ill or medically quarantined due to COVID-19. Paid family leave is available for those caring for an ill or medically quarantined family member, and unemployment insurance for reduced hours or lost work. We're all in this together. For information on how to stay healthy, visit covid19.ca.gov.
Hiring a realtor you trust is the first step in selling your home. Selecting an escrow company that can safeguard your money and personal information throughout the transaction is the next step. Escrow options will guarantee the safety of your personal information and funds from the risks of wire fraud and cyber theft. Choose the escrow company that works for you. Escrow Options Group, protecting consumer assets in escrow since 2005.
Okay, so we've got some cleaning hacks for you. Now, if you don't know what a cleaning hack is, it is a workaround so you don't have to spend too much time cleaning, and that's what I'm all about. All right, the first one we have is ceiling fans. So you can dust your ceiling fan with an old pillowcase to help trap the grime instead of just brushing it back into the air and onto your floor. So that's a good one. Now, your microwave, I don't know about you, but I never seem to put anything over the top of the things that I'm cooking, so it does tend to get junk all over. So if you have that same habit, you can microwave a bowl of lemons and water to make all that gunk come out in one easy swipe. So again, it's a hack and it's a workaround, so it works great. For your shower doors, you can get rid of the cloudy scum buildup on glass shower doors, no elbow grease required, with a few dollops of cooktop cleaner. So that's awfully interesting. So, you want to make sure that it does say that it's for, the cooktops, and then you just spray that on there and wipe it right off. Kitchen appliances. You can mix cream of tartar and water into a thick paste to clean the sticky dust buildup that nothing else seems to touch. So that's interesting. I don't really use cream of tartar very much, but anyway, now we can use it for cleaning. Stubborn grease. You can immediately erase the greasy dust by dabbing a little mineral oil on a cleaning cloth, and then it's going to make your stovetop look that much better. Baseboards. Wiping your baseboards with dryer sheets help them repel dust and pet hair. And how often do you actually even go around and do the baseboards? I really don't. So anyway, if you don't, now this will help them last a lot longer and be cleaner. Getting rid of pet hair on your couches or chairs or bedding or clothes, even for that matter, is you can take the little area, the squeegee, and you can spritz the area with water and scrape it up with the squeegee. And I think that would work really well on your couches. So give that one a try and let me know how that goes. Now, cleaning your shower head, instead of taking it completely off the wall, you can take a rubber band and a plastic bag filled with vinegar, and you wrap it around your shower head and tie the little thing around it, little rubber band around it, and that way it will deep clean the ends of your shower head and get all that grime off. Usually it's lime. Now you can also try Lime Away too, but this might be a better way to go if you can't really get to the store. So there's some cleaning hacks for you. Please let us know if they work for you, and you can always send us an email to lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com.
Hello. RadNet is the nation's largest outpatient medical imaging network, providing thousands of imaging procedures each day. During this time, RadNet remains committed to serving the needs of our communities. Our radiology centers are open and will remain open to treat patients. Rest assured that RadNet is following CDC protocols and taking every measure to ensure the safety and well-being of our patients and staff. RadNet has recently been asked by local hospitals to help provide outpatient imaging services for their patients, and RadNet is committed to supporting those needs. We are available to take your calls and schedule your appointments. To schedule an appointment online, visit myradiologyconnectportal.com or visit our website at radnet.com for more information and to find a location near you. Be healthy and be safe.
COVID-19 is a serious respiratory disease. There are simple steps we can all take to stay healthy and protect our community. Wash your hands for 20 seconds with soap and warm water. Clean and disinfect frequently touched surfaces daily. Cover coughs and sneezes with a tissue or elbow and avoid touching your face. If you do have symptoms like cough and fever, stay at home and call your doctor. When we all do our part, we can keep California healthy. For more information, visit covid19.ca.gov.
Well, we want to be sure and remind you about our movie for today, and that's going to be The Battle of the Sexes. This is starring Steve Carell. It's about 121 minutes long, sponsored by Harvard Eye. And for those of you that might recall, this is the 1973 tennis match between Billie Jean King and Bobby Riggs that became the most watched television sports event of all time. Trapped in the media glare, King and Riggs were on opposite sides of a binary argument, but off court, each was fighting more personal and complex battles. With her husband urging her to fight for equal pay, the private King was also struggling to come to terms with her own sexuality, while Riggs gambled his legacy and reputation in a bid to relive the glories of the past. Sounds very familiar, and that was in 1973. I recall this very well. I believe it was on Wide World of Sports. I'll have to ask Mark that. He's also a great sports trivia guy. But this is a Battle of the Sexes, well done. You'll see how well Steve Carell really played the role of Bobby Riggs. And that's going to be at 3 o'clock this afternoon and 6 o'clock this evening. So be sure and tune in for that. Also, we want to tell you about a concert that's going on tonight. That's Saturday Night Opera. It's country and folk and blues, and that's going to be at 5 o'clock, and there's the link right there. It's at Circle All Access. Come together for a night of fun and music as John Party, Runaway June, and Pam Tillis steps into the circle for Keep the Music Playing. I think Lisa wrote this up. With your host, Bobby Bones. That's going to be opera live stream, and that's going to be this evening at 5 o'clock. And that's it sounds like a pretty fun event. So if you have time, check it out on YouTube. And it's kind of nice too. I believe that this one might be free. So maybe you want to see what that's all about. Well, let's take a look outside real quick before we head home. This is going to be some nice temperatures here. Mid 80s for today, a little bit warmer. Overnight temperature is going to be 71. But as you can see, Sunday, Monday, and I believe even through the week of next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll see some cooler temperatures that are a little bit lower in that 82-degree range. So beautiful weather here in Laguna Woods Village. I'm Paul Ortiz, and I thank you for joining us for the last 28 minutes or so. Enjoy the rest of your weekend in Laguna Woods Village.